Hello, Jason Michael Fladlin here on behalf of Wilson Matos, co-founder of Rapid Crush Inc. I welcome you to today's training, which is Product Creation Secrets, specifically information products that you can use to help people change their lives and make a fortune. Now, here's what I know about you. You have a product in you, whether you realize it or not. And this is a product that is dying to get out and to help others. Now, has anybody here ever felt that way? That you know you have something in you that if you could put it in some sort of tangible format, it could both help other people solve their problems and produce a profit for you. And here's what I also know about you. It's hard for people to send you money if you got no buy buttons out there on cyberspace. So a big part of this game of making money, some of it's psychology, like knowing who wants what and where to find them, but a lot of this is math. And math is how many clicks does it take to produce a sale? Well, if you got nothing to click on, you got no sales. So you can't get paid for a product that has no buy button. If we can just get products out there for you with buy buttons, we don't even have to worry about too much else. A lot of the other stuff solves itself along the way, and I'll show you that as we go along the way here. This is what I also know about you. You get bogged down by the little details, most of which don't matter. You say, Jason, what font should I use? Jason, what headline should I create? Which email system should I use? How should I register my domains? Where should I go? Who cares? None of that is important. All of that is the tiny little stuff that if you added all those little cares together, influences about 5% of your result, if that. The big stuff, like who should I help and how should I structure my product to maximize conversion and traffic, that's the important stuff, and that's what we're going to focus on here today. And here's what I believe about you. Now, others may argue with me, but here's what I believe about you. You are ready to change this now. And if you are ready to change this now, I don't want you just to nod your head in agreement. I want you to feel it in every core of your body. I want you to resoundly tell me right here, right now, that you're ready to change this, that you are not willing to settle for the results of yesterday and yesteryear, that you're willing to do the needful to make the slight adjustments in your day-to-day behavior to make a massive difference in your bank accounts. Is that cool? You ready for that? All right, well, let's do this here. Thought experiment time. I believe any problem can be solved if you ask the right questions. Do you agree with me that it's less about some sort of ingenuity and it's just more about saying, okay, if I want to solve this problem, what do I need to do first? What do I need to do second? Or if it's along the lines of, I'm not sure what to do yet, the question might be, well, how will you know when you are sure? There are so many powerful questions that are so simple and easy to ask yourself that lead to a self-evident, obvious conclusion. And I want to pose some of those questions to you right here, right now. First question, is there something you could wake up this morning not knowing how to do, cram a few hours to learn this thing, be expert enough at this thing so you could sell the insights that you glean from a couple hours of cramming, and those insights could help lots of people who would then be happy and eager and willing to pay for your findings? So to understand the question that I'm asking you here, I'm saying, could you wake up in the morning not knowing something? If the focus was the day, have something you could sell that people will be happy to pay for. Do you think that's possible given the right set of circumstances, given the right approach? It's very important that we have come to an agreement on this, because that's the whole premise of how I've made my first million and the subsequent millions online. Let's get paid to solve people's problems. Doesn't matter how big or small the problem is. If the problem is worth paying for, they will pay for it. Do you agree? And so would you imagine how many thousands and thousands of problems out there that exist that meet this exact criteria here? Now, here are the requirements to make this work. It needs to be tactical and specific. It needs to be first do this, then do that, then do this, then do that. Simple, right to the point, right? It would have to focus on an immediate improvement in a customer's life, because that guarantees that they're going to be the happiest to pay you money. Because if they experience this pain or this problem or this issue every waking moment of their life, and they could spend $17 with you, $12 with you, $29 with you, $33 with you, and get rid of it forever? Is that a good deal? Do you think they would go for that? And do you think they're upset if they can't currently make that happen? Because you're depriving them the opportunity of buying your solution, which you're packaging in an information product. Here's another requirement. Not a lot of effort or experience. So we have to narrow our focus to get our first win, to start making our first windfall online with something that we could master in minutes or hours. So it can't be technical, and it can't be very much detail orientated. It's got to be something that can make an immediate impact on a customer's life the first time they interact with it, that you could understand and master and communicate in a whole day's time from start to finish, from blank sheet to info product. That's what we would have to engineer and create to help you be successful in a way that nobody else has shown you yet. That's my goal today. My goal today specifically is to show you a system where you can identify a valuable problem to solve in a lightning-fast systematic approach that results in a high-valued information product that somebody can easily find and buy and get a better experience within a few minutes of consuming that information product than they have on any previous product that they purchased related to that topic from any guru at any price point. Does that sound good to you? Is that getting you excited right now? And yes, this even refers to problems that you'll solve that you did not know existed, and where you currently, as of now, don't have any expertise in. We'll acquire that. And even if you don't know how to sell it, because you'll discover this first way of making money does not require any selling ability whatsoever, even if you don't know how to reach them. If you understand what I will show you today, other people can reach them for you. You don't even need to know how to reach them. Now, I understand I'm laying a large foundation that we're going to work towards achieving. You say, Jason, what makes you so bold to think that you can give me these insights, that you can fulfill on these promises that you've put in front of me here today? Well, I'm glad that you're asking these and bringing this up. Here are my unique insights, which allow me to do what others might refer to as the impossible. Now, my unique insight started in 2007, where I was living rent-free with my dad in a tiny apartment, which was just another way of saying my dad took pity upon me because I couldn't afford to support myself and let me live with him in this tiny little thing. And to support myself as much as I possibly could, I painted. I painted houses for $12 an hour. As an employee, that's what I made, painting houses. And this is where my dad and I found ourselves living down on a 2nd Street apartment in a little town called Muscatine, Iowa, right next to a pawn shop. And these 3 windows were the 3 windows that we could look out. 2-room apartment. However, what I also had in me in this situation was a naive desire to be wealthy and willing to put in the work to make it happen. I don't care who you are or where you are today. I don't care what kind of set of circumstances you find yourself in. If you're almost down to your last penny, if everything you've tried to do in the past did not result in the outcome that you desire, or if you've made a fortune and lost it and are looking to make it back, if you've been in corporate America and you want to get out there and do your own thing instead of do somebody else's thing, doesn't matter to me. I need you to have a naive desire to be wealthy. Do you want to be wealthy? Because you got to have that, the desire to be wealthy, and a willingness to put into work. Because let's you and I be straight with each other. You have to work. You have to work, because otherwise how can you contribute in a way that's meaningful without putting in the work? We're just going to work as efficiently as possible so we can put in the least amount of time to make the most amount of money. Now for me, that started with a tiny little information product. I will share that with you here in a bit, how that came to be. But this is in 2007. Flash forward less than a decade later. And in 2016, January 1st, I looked back at the previous year, 2015, and we generated $15 million in 2015. 15 and 15, right? Actually closer to $16 million. a profit margin on that so high you would not believe me if I told you. Because lots of that revenue came from, once you understand how to create information products, you also understand how to promote them as an affiliate. So that's a lot of that's net profit direct to my pocket at the end of the day, but consistently doing $1 million+ months. All that in 9 years. I look at those numbers now and I don't even totally believe them, even though I experienced them, because it's so unfathomable what the knowledge of what I'm here to show you today can transform for you and your life. Now, it didn't start with millions of dollars. It started with $4. November 12, 2007 is the day my life changed forever. It's wonderful to be able to have that time and point in your life when you can point to a single day on a calendar and said, that's the day everything changed for me. That's the day it all turned around. For me personally, November 12th, 2007. How do I know that's the day? That's the day I created my first information product. It's also the day I made my first sale of my first information product. So what's interesting is I found myself living with my dad, making 12 bucks an hour painting houses, and around 2007 there was this demand and the need for these articles. People were publishing articles on their blogs, on these article directories, and that's how they were doing to promote their products and to promote their services and what have you, right? So in an act of desperation, I started writing these articles to try to make money. And I wasn't very good at making the money, but I did get pretty good at writing the articles in a very fast amount of time. So I decided one day to create a system called How to Write an Article in 7 Minutes or Less that just detailed my process for writing the articles. Now, it's very important for you to understand this. Nowhere in this product did I show you how to make money writing these articles, because I wasn't even making money writing these articles, right? Nowhere did I show you where to go to distribute these articles or how to get traffic from them. None of that stuff. Just the process of saying, here's how I'm writing articles fast. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. It was 6 pages, this ebook. And I sat down with a blank Word document and I got up in 2 hours with a 6-page PDF. Now, you say, Jason, why'd you sell it for $4? Let me tell you a secret. I was scared. That's why I sold it for $4. I was scared out of my mind because I suffered from low self-esteem. Who's going to buy something from me? I suffer from the challenge. What if they buy it but they don't like it? I suffer from the challenge of I don't know the first thing about selling, which I did not at the time. I learned a lot of that stuff later. Yet still, seeing that first $4 in my PayPal account come in is even a greater thrill than seeing something like this, which is what my PayPal account looks like these days, where we consistently always have 7 figures in a PayPal account, what to speak of in bank accounts. And my first information product is more exciting to me than the 889 products that we had created since then, literally breaking our shopping cart because they had a hard limit of 500 products that you could put in there, and we were the first one to go above and beyond that. So along the way, I've learned every trick in the book when it comes to information products, because it's really simple to devote 9 years plus of your life, almost the whole decade of your life, going deep into every nook and cranny and really making it your essence to figure out how to create and market and position information products. You'll learn a few things along the way, and I'd like to share those with you today. And I'd also like to add you to the list of millionaires that I've helped create along the way. A lot of these people that you've bought products from first came to learn how to do information products from myself. So Costas Pepis is one of those. And I asked him point blank, I said, would it be fair to say that I have helped you in some way, shape, or form generate millions of dollars in sales online? And Costas' reply to this was, oh, totally, yeah. This set the foundation for every product I've made. My personal one big thing that I've always needed clarity on, this is the reason I believe I was not able to succeed before, the word I'm looking for is framework. What exactly do I do independent of my feelings, independent of my skills? Just tell me what to do step by step so I don't have to think about it, and all I have to do is execute those steps. Yours was the first program I could follow on that level. So Kieran McDonough spent his last dollars to get started with us with our product creation secrets. He says, I owe a massive amount of appreciation to Jason Fladlin for mentoring me to success and giving me the permission to succeed. I've helped launch over 30 products, attracting over 60,000 paying customers and generating over $3 million for my clients, and probably another 1.5 to 2 million more in affiliate commissions from that 60K customer base. Before me, 0 products, 0 launches, 0 customers. After getting involved with us at Product E-Class, this is the result, and on and on and on. Our focus today is the following: how to turn problems into products that you can create from scratch in hours, which already have traffic built into them and can pretty much sell themselves, and to me the most important element, truly make a difference in a customer's life. Because I want you to consider the following. This is why this is important, not because I'm Mother Teresa in the male embodiment. It might be noble, it might win us points in the afterlife, but it has a very pragmatic and specific reasoning. Here it is. If you had such a tremendously valuable resource for someone suffering immense pain, how hard do you think you'd have to motivate yourself to offer that solution to them? If everywhere you looked you saw people suffering, and you knew that simply saying, hey, my product can solve that suffering, how hard do you think you'd have to motivate yourself to get out there and start helping people? How good do you think you'd have to be at offering that solution? And how easy would it be for them to inquire and desire other solutions that you might also offer to them in the future? A lot of people say, Jason, I got a traffic problem, or Jason, I got a conversion problem. No, you don't. You got a product problem, because the right product, and you would already do what you know you need to do to get it out there and let people know about it. And the right product in its shabbiest form will sell, because the product will help people solve problems. Now here's the challenges I face as I attempt to convince you into my way of thinking, as I attempt to get you to buy in to this concept, and my attempt to sell you on the idea that you can do this. Jason, I have nothing that I could offer that people would be glad to pay for. That might be a consideration for you. I will challenge that every day of the week, because I've seen otherwise over and over again. You say, but Jason, even if I did have something valuable, I can't reach those who I can help the most. And that is a lie you're telling yourself to stay within your comfort zone. Let's forget about that for a second. If there was a way I could show you where we could find these people, or already they were there, and we could just put it in front of them, would that change things for you? So Jason, I don't know about the technical stuff, domain, hosting, PayPal, sales page, down page, or anything. Yeah, I get that. Nobody knows everything when they first start. Here's what success looks like: one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. What's more important to you, this small little technical stuff or the big stuff? The product creation secrets, the way to position it to automatically, like a lightning rod, attract customers eager and willing to do business with you because they think they're taking advantage of you and you're solving their problems. That's what we need to figure out. The rest of this stuff will take care of itself. You say, Jason, I don't have the time already to do the things that I feel obligated to. Now you want me to do this as well? No, not as well. I want you to do this in place of something that you're doing right now that you know you shouldn't be doing, or something you're doing right now that you can't justify in terms of ROI, return on investment. I'm not asking you to add to a work schedule. I'm telling you to replace something that's less efficient than what this is. And I guarantee you, you can find that if you're willing to look. Jason, I don't have time to wait. I'm down where the creditors are knocking on my door. I'm one step away from complete financial ruins. I hope that's nobody here, but if that's you and that's your situation, you say, Jason, I'm in such a pinch, I can't wait from putting in all my time and investing all my energy to one day reap the benefits of that in terms of the money coming back to me. Okay, let's not wait then. We can do this. If you're serious, we can do this in 48 hours or less. You say, Jason, but why would I create my own product? Don't other people do that? Can I just promote it as an affiliate? Sure. How's that been working out for you? If only it were that simple, and it's not. You need something with your name on it, or you need something that even if you put a pen name on it, you can claim as your own and have 100% autonomy and control with how you do it. That makes you agile. That's what leads to profits. You say, Jason, I've created my own info products in the past and haven't been successful. How will this be different? Well, the best thing about the past is it's over with. Don't treat the past as a burden. Treat the past as a school. Take what you learn from that and add to this different way of how we do things, and then see for yourself. That's all I ask for you. Because I will give you the framework that focuses on quick, immediate results and can be done with anyone who has the desire to better themselves, that even the first time you do this, even the worst time you do this, you will still be successful. The process is simple. Where can you immediately make a splash? What is something you can solve with minimum effort and time? How can you make an immediate improvement in your customer's life that you can reach? How will you do this over and over again to make success inevitable? And how will you guarantee your implementation and, as an extension of that, your profits? When we talk about info products, here's what we're talking about. Any product someone can purchase online that can provide instruction and insight to help them help themselves. In other words, information products are specific solutions to specific problems. You don't create info products. You create solutions and then you package those into info products. Key insight, you don't create info products. You create solutions and then package those solutions into information products. Information by itself, by the way, is not worth very much. More important is how the information is organized and presented. That's what makes all the difference in the world. Because you can have the best information, but if people consume it and are freaked out of their mind, you ain't going to get success. But you can have regular, boring, Monday, everyday information, but presented in a way that compels people and gives them confidence. That can make all the difference in the world. So here's the reality. With all these libraries out there, why aren't there more millionaires? We all have access to a tremendous amount of wonderful information, yet most people still can't solve the problems that plague them. This is how you're going to be different. Your insider advantage is this. You make your money because you'll quickly become an expert at how to find and present information in a specific way that compels a result in your customers. We don't want to be an expert at information itself in terms of a specific problem. We can do that, that's okay, but at really our advantage, your advantage, is you're going to learn like Neo in the Matrix. You're going to see all the different angles, and you're going to learn the meta framework of, doesn't matter what the problem and solution are, you know how to present it in a way that compels a result in your customers. This is where you win. This is where we take any information that's freely available and make it so damn valuable, people will be happy to pay you money for it. Art says this. I was thinking about starting the creation of one of my products for quite some time, but didn't know really where to start. I follow the principle of one problem, one solution, and I got my first product finished in just 2 days. But it was far from being a small report because once I started writing, I just wasn't able to stop. So we teach one problem, one solution to get you started. He then continues, I went on to earn about $700 within the first 24 hours of setting it up. At first, I wasn't expecting to even earn more than $100, but everything that happened really blew my mind. I continued getting a few $100s a day in sales after that. Thanks a lot, Jason, for understanding the weaknesses we have as marketers and sharing your time and knowledge with us. So this is the proof in the pudding where I'm telling you, once you learn how to do what I just did here, it's going to make the world of difference for you, because I compelled Art to take action without him even realizing it. Because he says he was thinking about it, then he encounters me and he does it. Your customers are going to be the same way. They're thinking about it or they're dabbling in it. Then when they encounter you, they do it. You help them, you get paid. I designed this system to pass the stranger test. We could pull somebody off the street at random, hand them over this system, and they could be generating thousands, tens of thousands, or more in less than 30 days with no other advantages than the process, which starts with where can you immediately make a splash, then goes to what is something you can solve with minimum effort and time, and how can you make an immediate improvement in the customer's life, how will you do this over and over again to make success inevitable, and how will you guarantee you implement and profit. That's the system, niche, problem, solution, system, action. Let's start with the niche. Here's what we're looking for. Here are the characteristics where we tip the scales in your favor for immediate profitability. Demand. You want to reach customers who are passionate enough to purchase multiple information products related to a singular topic. This stacks the deck in your favor. Do you see why? Customers are not exactly discriminatory. They say, okay, I'll take one of those, one of those, one of those, one of those, one of those. Because if I buy 7 or 8 or 9 different information products on the same topic, and if only one of those works, I, as a customer, am happy. I'm very happy because I'm able to finally solve my problem. So we want customers who are willing to consume like that, where they're willing to purchase many different products just so if only one of them works for them, they're happy. This is an easy market to reach. It's an easy market to make sales from. Second, fractal. And we want to go after segments within segments within segments of specific types of customers who share unique commonalities. So battleships versus rowboats. You want to be a rowboat. A battleship takes forever to churn and adjust. A rowboat can do it just like that. So where you win when you're starting is you're going to places most people will not go to. Now, if you're the only one there, is traffic a lot easier to get? Of course it is, because you're the only one there that can serve at that pocket of customers. Also, if you're the only one there, how good do you have to be at showing them what you have has value? You're the only one there. Just being there shows them that they have value. That's why we want fractal. Third, proactive. We want people actively seeking out and investing in potential solutions. What I mean by that is we should be able to look at them and say, look at all the people over there spending money on this topic. Because then where should you go to show them what you have that they can spend money on? Where do you find these? It's actually relatively simple. There are 4 specific approaches that I take to find these. Any one of these 4 will work, especially when you're just getting started. Let me give you the simplest one you can get started with. Is that okay? Would you like to know the simplest, easiest way to find these niches that contain these 3 characteristics that I just discussed with you? Well, the biggest e-commerce site on the whole planet is Amazon. 15 cents out of every dollar spent is spent on Amazon, and Amazon is also one of the greatest places you can get insight into what customers are interested in buying and where you have some sort of exploitable advantage. So in the books department of Amazon, these are just some of the many different what are referred to as top-level categories in books. So one of these categories is called cookbooks, food, and wine. Now, I don't know anything personally about cookbooks, food, or wine. I'm a Bud Light kind of guy, right? That's my wine. And my food is, well, let's just say it could be improved. The palate that I have here is I'm just as excited about eating a Big Mac as I am about eating a filet mignon. So I don't know this market very well, but I guarantee you we can find problems that are being underserved right now. So within Amazon, there are sub-level categories. So in cookbooks, there are a lot of different sub-level categories. One such sub-level category is baking. And within baking, there's a tertiary category, such as bread, cakes, cookies, biscuits, pastries, pies, and pizza. Now, I'm getting hungry now, so I've got to be careful here. Now, another secondary category in cookbooks, food, and wine is cooking by ingredients. Cheese and dairy, chocolate, fish, fruits, herbs, meat, natural foods, pasta, potatoes, poultry, rice, grains, and vegetables. Yes, cooking by ingredient. It gets that granular. Within the top-level category of cookbooks, food, and wine, there's also cooking methods, such as budget, cooking for 1 or 2, gourmet, large quantities, microwave cooking, organic, quick and easy, raw, and slow cooking. So just a handful, just actually 3 of the many different sub-level categories in cookbooks, food, and wine are baking, cooking methods, cooking by ingredients. And within those, there are tertiary categories, of which these are a tiny fraction of many, many, many categories. Question to you, are you seeing the possibilities here? Are you getting a little bit excited about how we've pinpointed in minutes, effortlessly, potential pockets of customers? This is just in one tiny little segment of one tiny little segment where you can make a splash. Now, my question to you is, do you suppose now, knowing this, you can go out there and start making it a lot easier for you to find and zero in on what customers need? And isn't that going to be helpful to you? So when are you going to start doing this? So my answer, hopefully, that I hear from you is as soon as humanly possible, Jason, because I've shown you exactly where to find these customers that you can help. So now if you choose not to help them, I'm going to be very disappointed. Now, these markets, here's what we're looking at. Within minutes, we can find thousands of them, brimming with segments of customers. And the last thing, the most important thing, underserved. Customers who are underserved, that is where you're going to immediately make your profit. Because once you serve those customers, and it's less about the information and more about how the information is laid out, that's where you're going to win. So Ezra Firestone, this is a gentleman who sells consistently multi-millions of dollars per year of information-based products, had this to say. He says, I have never seen a more in-depth, detailed, well-thought-out, consumable course outline in my life. I am consistently impressed with Jason's knowledge of information products. He knows how to create them, lay them out, and sell them better than anyone in the industry. If I have a question related to my information product business and I sell several $1 million worth of information each year, Jason is the first person I turn to advice. So it's wonderful. Once we find underserved customers, now the secret becomes laying it out and presenting that information that they need in a way that's going to be helpful to them. So that's step one. Where can you make an immediate splash? Step number two now is, what is something you can solve within minutes or with at least minimum effort and time? So here is how we do that. The first step that we do here is identify potential problems using what I refer to as the dominant emotion approach. Every single problem can be linked to a dominant emotion. Then we take that problem and make it customer specific. This makes it real. Lastly, we decide the easiest way to solve that problem and profit from it. The three-step approach for problems that we're going to help the customers deal with. Here's a key insight for you. You want a list of potential products you could, with no experience, easily design a solution people would love to pay for. Tell me if I'm accurate in this assessment. A big problem you have with creating and selling information products online is you don't know what to create. You don't have the topic, or you're unsure of what you should put out there. Am I correct in my assessment? Does that sound like you, or at least resonate with you at some level? Well, yeah. I'm telling you that with the right approach, you should have way more opportunities that are all exciting winners than you can handle, because now you start picking, you start triaging, right? You start picking the easiest ones to go after. So when it comes to finding problems, oh man, well, let me just show you. The first thing you say is, what are the fatal flaws in even the best products related to a singular concept out there? What are the fatal flaws even the best products have? Which of these flaws would be the easiest for you to fix so you can give your customers an immediate win related to the problem? So as soon as the first time they consume your information product, they immediately can do something they couldn't do before. Not 10 years down the line, immediately. So let's look at budget cooking. Budget cooking. Trust me, I know nothing about budget cooking. I wish I did, because the amount of money we spend on food in a single year scares me no matter how many millions of dollars I make. But budget cooking, at the time I took this screenshot, this was the #1 bestseller. Good and cheap. Eat well on $4 a day. Now within Amazon, you have the ability to filter reviews by all critical. So we can look at and find just the people who did not like this best-selling product on budget cooking. Because if they didn't like it, what is that? That is a problem. So here's just a small amount in a few minutes that I gleaned from this. If I have 2 teenage sons or daughters in our family of 4 making 4 eggs, that is not enough. As you put in more food and other meals, it goes beyond $4 a day, right? Here's another issue. Didn't speak to the lack of equipment, nor does it take into account the vast amount of time and money that poor people put into just getting through basic life. Here's another one. I myself am not a picky eater, and I've been trying to cook food that's good and cheap for a long time now, but as a primary cook in my household, there isn't much in there that would go over well if I prepared it for my family. Interesting, right? Here's another one. The dinner section, in my opinion, is mostly side dishes, and most of the recipes that seem more like they would make satisfying meals are actually kind of expensive. Here's another one. I wanted to use this to help clients at our food pantry make their meals better, healthier, tastier, more economical. I have not tried all the recipes as yet, but I will continue to work on it. Another word for problem is opportunity. And all of these are opportunities for you to help these customers where nobody else is helping them and get paid to do so. Because wouldn't you agree with me that if you could solve these problems, people would be happy and willing to buy the information that could solve them, because they're already buying information and their needs are not being met. So let's make this real. I want you to use a Google spreadsheet or an Excel spreadsheet. I don't care which. I want you to make this real and start tracking this. So this is one example. Now this has taken me at this point all of 10 minutes to do. Go to Amazon, click on a top level category, narrow in on a specific category. You could practically do this at random, right? And then start filtering by critical reviews and start identifying issues, potential problems. Here's just a couple of them. What about bigger families? What about those families that lack equipment? What about a family full of picky eaters? What about a family that wants to eat meals that are filling? What about families that feel like the pieces are missing to go from step 1, step 2, to step 3, to step 4? What about families that are using the food pantry or want to help and contribute to the food pantry, and so on and so on and so on? So those are all potential problems. The next step then is we take those broad problems and we make them real. Now this is for those of you who feel like you're not good salespeople or feel like you can't convert traffic online or what have you. This is where we do this automatically without having to know technique or what have you. Make the problem real is simple. Get specific, write the problem like a customer would say it out loud if they were complaining about it, and add some personality and emotion and dimension to this. And do this several times. So several different products we're going to do this on. So let me show you specifically what that means. What about a family of 4? We translate that into, is there something a full family could eat that everyone would enjoy and is inexpensive? What about lack of equipment? We turn that into, what could we do on the cheap that wouldn't require any special food processors, blenders, or anything beyond the super basics? We take picky eater and we turn that into, I either need lots of options or food that would satisfy the largest number of palates in my household. We take full meals, not side dishes. If it requires me to starve, yes, I save money, but I'm miserable. That's the specific problem. Lots of pieces missing. We turn that into, what is everything I need to know in advance of prepping my first meal so I can easily use every option and choice that you have available? And lastly, can't help the food pantry. Specific problem. What would be easy for someone who was eating on a budget because they had to, not just because they wanted to? Now we've made all of these problems real. If we stopped right here, question to you, do you feel a lot more confident in your ability to go out there and start helping people and profiting? Because we've identified several problems and then we've made them real by getting specific with them. Now here's the beautiful thing. We are just getting started. We're already so far ahead of everybody else, right? I'm sure you're seeing new opportunities that you probably didn't know existed before just simply because of what we covered thus far. Now let's talk about solutions. Now that we've identified their problem, let's start transforming some potential solutions for these people. At the high level, it looks like this. What could you do that is easy and only requires a slight alteration to somebody's existing behavior, yet could produce an extraordinary result? Completely changing people is hard. Slightly changing something, easy. And if that slight change produces a dramatic result, awesome, you win. Another way to think about it, can you provide a solution that will have a meaningful and long-lasting benefit in their life that you can make it happen the first time they try it? They get a measurable beneficial result as soon as they try something. How can you put something in your product so the very first time somebody tries it, they get an immediate, measurable, beneficial result that has a long-lasting benefit in their life? Well, let's not just be theoretical here. Let me show you some specific examples if I could. We take the problem of, is there something a full family could eat that everyone would enjoy and is inexpensive, and we turn that into, here's how I could find a solution for that. I could ask, contact, and or research large families that eat on thin budgets. Do you suppose if you asked a handful of those families, you could find some really good information that could go into an information product? So budget eating for large families. That's where you can find the possible solution. What about, what could we do cheaply that wouldn't require any special processors, blenders, or stuff beyond the super basics? You could just simply start investigating the alternatives to expensive kitchen gadgets that achieve roughly the same results with a little bit more effort but a lot less money. So you can give people options then of what they could do in the kitchen if they didn't have a lot of equipment. The picky eater. Could we not do research to find the foods that are most universally appealing and then organize those foods by cost and find the cheapest foods that also have the widest appeal to the human palate. That's a good solution. So now we can say, yes, if you're a picky eater, we have solved that. If it requires me to starve, yes, I save money, but I'm miserable. What foods trick you into feeling full without overeating? Couldn't we go out and look for that? Couldn't we find the answer for that very easily, don't you think? Here's another solution to the pieces are missing. What are cookbooks that people rave about as being thorough and complete? What are their commonalities? Do they follow a certain format? Can we model that format? Lastly here, what would be easy for someone who was eating on a budget because they had to, not just because they want to? Could we not just contact local food pantries, get insight into creative solutions, and then translate that so we could create something that would be satisfactory and cheap for customers? So now we start angling on potential solutions. Now you don't have to do all of these solutions for one singular product. Actually, there's several products right here in the span of about 20 minutes this has taken me to form this. It might take you an hour or two, okay? You're not a pro like me. Would it be okay if this took you all day to figure this out? Because one of these is a six-figure business for you. One of these products correctly implemented is 6 figures. So is it worth putting in a little time to make something like this happen? I think so. Now we translate potential solutions into hooks for potential products. So now that we have our possible solutions, here are some of the products that we could potentially create to serve this market on budget cooking that is currently being underserved. So here's an example of one. Super cheap yet healthy foods that trick you into feeling full. That sounds like a good product, right? Second one, amazing cheap meals you can make in even the barren of kitchens. Awesome. I like it. What about this one? 5 on 5, how to feed families of 5 nutritious meals that each cost $5 or less. Do you suppose you could either do the research or gain the experience yourself to find out this information and then present it in an information product? Do you suppose you could do that in a very quick and efficient manner? And do you think people would buy that? Guarantee you they would. My biggest challenge is hoping that you see what I see here, because I'm seeing money all over the place, right? Now, how do we systemize this? How do we assemble this information? And that's the key word. How do we assemble the information so you can mold it into an information product as fast and easy as humanly possible? So we start by assembling the information that can go into the information product. Then from that, we create the outline with the focus on compelling immediate action and producing instant results for your customers. And lastly, we create the product swiftly and quickly to get your solution into the hands of the people who need it the most. Because every day you deprive them of the solution is a day that you are not doing them any favors. Okay? Assemble, outline, create. Of these, creating is the easiest. If we chop down a tree, we spend 8 hours sharpening our axe and 1 hour chopping it down. The actual creation of the information product is that chopping of the tree. That will be the simplest part of the whole process, because we're going to prepare for success. Prepare for success. Assemble, outline, and then we create. Assemble. There are a few ways you can easily uncover or track the information needed to craft together your solution. I'll share with you 4 simple methods here today to assemble the raw materials that will form your information product. First one, a site called redditlist.com. You're like, what's that? See, this is the tricks that I've learned having done this and devoted a whole decade of pretty much my day-to-day life. So at Reddit list, we can type in a word like cooking, and they're going to return what are referred to as subreddits. These are user-generated content where the best of that content gets upvoted to the top. So this will flat out tell you what people are most excited about and resonating with. So healthy food is a subreddit that has 31,000 subscribers. 52 weeks of cooking is another one that has 21,000 subscribers. Slow cooking is another one with 187,000 subscribers. And there are lots of cooking subreddits. For example, this one looks pretty good to me. Budget food. Well, that's right up our alley, right? Now here's what's really interesting about budget food. There's 87,000 people that are in the budget food community. And if you look at the wiki that they've already prepared for budget food, they've already curated some of the best content available. Food preservation chart, cheap easy food chart, ramen upgrades, ramen basic suggestions, recipe key, supercook, chefs do the food stamp challenge, good food on a tight budget, budget food compilation, 31 healthiest food. Then they even have a section a little ways down there. I have X dollars for the next X weeks. These are people posting their dilemma and other people offering solutions, and then you can see what resonates and what doesn't resonate. So for example, temporary broke student request, 5-day menu on $20 or less. 80 comments of people contributing and making suggestions to help this broke student. 5-day menu for 20 bucks. Also, every subreddit on the right-hand side shows you related ones. So here's related subreddits: eat cheap and healthy, slow cooking, cheap meals, frugal, recipes, budget veggie, food, cooking, student food. You will be swimming in solutions that have already been pretty much auditioned and the winners announced in terms of what is the best that resonates with the most people. It's already there for you. It's less about creating and it's more about assembling. Here's an important thing for you to realize. If the information already exists out there in cyberspace, what value are you providing? It's a good question, isn't it? You say, Jason, if this information is freely available, why would anybody pay for it? But let's stop and think about that for a second. Let me pose it to you a scenario. You can spend 10 hours finding the information on your own and then assembling it for yourself. Or you can spend $10 and have all the information given to you in 10 minutes. As a consumer, as a customer, as somebody whose time is valuable, what would you rather do? Spend 10 hours yourself finding the solution, or spend $10 and have the solution given to you in 10 minutes? Almost all of us would rather prefer to exchange money instead of time. Now here's the flip side. If you, as a product creator, spend 10 hours finding and hunting and putting the solution together that you sell to customers for 10 bucks, why would you want to do something like that? And here's the answer. Because you have to do that research one time, but you can sell that answer, that information product, to anybody and everybody, millions of people. So you help millions of people save 10 hours because you did the 10 hours yourself, but you get paid way above and beyond just the 10 hours you put into there. Does that make sense? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that wonderful how the world works this way? Plus, there's a little bit more to it. We're going to get that into a bit. But the point of this is we can find and shortcut where already good information exists. We just need to assemble that information and put it into an outline that resonates with people, that gets them ready to take action. Here's one more for you. This creates unique content from scratch. So you go to a forum or a place where a lot of people who are experts already at this or passionate about it hang out. So here's a food and cooking forum. And you post something like this as a forum message. You say, it's impossible to cook healthy without spending a fortune. You say, look, I have never seen any approach to cooking that claimed to be able to do it for $5 a meal or less that actually worked. You either had a portion of food about the size of a raisin, or you needed $1,000 worth of cooking gadget or hours of time, which costs money. I'd love to be convinced otherwise, because perhaps I am wrong, but I think it's just a lot of smoke and mirrors for people who want to sell me their cookbooks and other junk. Should I give up hope? You post this and you wait. And guess what happens? You get the best information and you get the best content that will churn you on to what you should assemble and put into your own information product. You also get inspiration by looking at existing things that are already out there. So on Amazon.com, again, you can look inside any book. If there's a For Dummies book, I suggest you look at it, because they have the most detailed chapters and outlines, so you can use that as inspiration of what to put in and what to focus on for your product. Now, my favorite is this. This is the one that is the easiest. I think that is the most valuable, personal experience. So if, for example, you wanted to do budget cooking, here's how you could acquire valuable experience in a single day. You could go out there, take all the information that you pull out there using the previous methods, and spend one solid day experimenting and trying a variety of different things so you could gain that personal experience. And by the next day, all you have to do is write about your personal experience on what you discovered that worked, and you put that into a format, and now you have an information product. The trick here is personal experience within an accepted confinement. Pareto's principles state the task at hand expands to fill the allotted amount of time. So if you say, I'm going to go out there and figure this out myself, and you don't put a deadline on it, then guess what the task at hand expanding to the allotted amount of time is? It's infinite. It's forever. If you say, I'm going to go get experience with this one particular topic, and I will have the experience by tomorrow or the next day. By putting that limitation on, you actually create more potential, because then you sprint to your solution with a short, deep focus approach on that specific topic. That's when you put it out there. So you say, Jason, I'm with you so far. Are you with me so far? Do you believe, and maybe you need to go back and refresh yourself on the information we've discussed so far, but do you believe now I've shown you and empowered you on a way you could easily find a place, a pocket of customers so that you can immediately make a splash in? Do you think I've done that so far? I hope so, right? I think so. The second step here, problem. What is something you can solve with minimum effort and time? Didn't I show you a simple, easy way to identify different problems that you could key in on that would make an immediate improvement in these customers' life? And then the system is, now we go out there and assemble the raw materials for it. We combine them together in such a way that we can produce this information product. Now it's time for action. Now that you found the perfect niche to play in, you've identified several problems, you've brainstormed potential solutions, you turn one of these solutions into a powerful hook for your product, and assemble together all the raw materials for the information for your product. Question, what's the easiest way for you to create that product? Answer, you will utilize a framework. I have perfected over hundreds of products that I've created in close to a decade worth of effort. The beautiful thing is this framework will be used for every product you create. First of all, when you're starting, I recommend you start with low-ticket products so you can immediately make money. Then you can use this framework beyond that up to the highest ticket products you'll ever sell in your life. If you truly understand and get this framework, I know you will become wealthy. That is a fact, 100% for real. If you truly understand and get this framework, I know you will become wealthy. No joke. Do you want the framework? Would you like that? Well, here's the framework. Purpose, why, what, how. I've used this framework for every information product that I've created that has helped me sell consistently and make millions of dollars year in and year out. Purpose, why, what, how. We start the information product out with the purpose. This gets the customer on the same page as you so they can immediately understand what to do ASAP. We give the customer a goal to strive for. So it's less about the information and how the information is presented. So you start out your product. Now if it's a low ticket product, you start it out with, so if it's an inexpensive product, a $7, $17, $27 product, you say, the specific purpose that we're going to get you to achieve by the end of this information product is blank. And you detail that. Then you move on to the second section, why it works. Here's the reason why we do this. A confused mind has trouble implementing. I'm sure you can relate with your own personal experience. When you got confused, you didn't know what to do and you shut down. Well, your customers are the same way. So what we do is we give them immediate clarity and insight that on their own will help them make progress. So you explain to this, the information I'm going to show you in this product, this is why it will work for you. This is the first reason, the second reason, the third reason, and so on. Next section, what's involved? This is where you introduce the vital few elements that will help them get the majority of the results related to the topic at hand. So we reduce the solution into 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 things that they need to focus on. Usually it's about 4 to 5 things that they need to focus on. We bring these to focus, we define them right up front, and by doing so, we give the customer clarity and makes it so much easier for your customers to implement your instructions. So we start with the purpose, what they're going to accomplish. We break down the why it's going to work for them. Then we define what's involved, the few key things that produce a majority of the results. And lastly, all we got to do for the customer is give them the how. We give them the how one of 2 ways. Step by step, which is usually how we do it. You say step number 1, now you need to do this. Step number 2, then do this. Step number 3, do this. Step number 4, do this. Step number 5, do this. Or the second approach is criteria based. You say if you want success with it, here are the 5 most vital elements involved. And now here's what you need to know about each of these 5 elements. So element number 1, these are the 3 factors that determine success with it. Here's how you can use these 3 factors. Element number 2, these are the 3 factors that determine success with it. Here's how you can use these 3 factors. That's the framework. Purpose, what, why, and how. By deploying this framework, you'll be able to organize any information or experience you have. You can snap it together in hours in a product that is the easiest thing in the world for you to create. Because now you're just tracing instead of drawing from scratch, right? Now you're painting by the numbers. And most importantly, the whole purpose of this framework is designed so your customers immediately know what to do and immediately can implement, immediately have clarity, and immediately get results. Because let me ask you this question. Most products you purchase, do you think they have that wow factor where as soon as you start interacting with them, you gain clarity and insight? Or does that rarely happen? It rarely happens, doesn't it? Here's why, because they don't have the framework. Just by having the framework, you will be very powerful. Now, of course, there's some details, and we can get into the meat and the potatoes exactly how to deploy this framework here in a little bit, but the framework is key. We take you out of the process. We put the process in place, and all you got to do is snap the information together then. If you had that process, do you think that would make you a lot more valuable and increase dramatically your potential for profit in this business? You got options, by the way, when you use this framework. You could create this framework where the whole product is just that framework. Purpose, why, what, and how. And the majority of the reason you put that into a small, easily consumable product is so you can pull customers out there, build a customer list, make profit right away, and then have an audience you can go back to and serve over and over again. The beautiful thing about these types of products is you can do them in hours or at worst a few days. Simple little tightly put together products that solve one specific problem with one specific solution, and you'll get something that will make you a lot of money and build a customer list that you can continue to serve over and over again. You can also create a flagship product that goes very deep into solving multiple problems, and this framework now becomes chapters or modules or sessions. So each module follows this framework, or each session or section follows this framework. And now you can sell products at $99, $199, $499, $999, or even higher that will help your customers and make you famous. You can skip the information gathering altogether and go straight to the framework. See, everybody asks me, Jason, what if I don't have an audience? How can I reach an audience to sell my information product? Go to somebody who already does have an audience, okay? I will no longer ever accept this as an excuse. It makes me sick to my stomach when somebody gives me that excuse. Jason, I can't get an audience. Yes, you can. There's already existing ones. So here's what you do. You go to somebody who already has that existing audience. You take their experience, their insight, and their knowledge, and you put that together into the framework. Now you can deploy their knowledge within the framework, which will create a better solution for the customer than the expert could ever provide on their own. And that's very simple. That's when you say to them, listen, if I do all this work, can you give me a percentage of the profits? Do you think they're going to say no to that? They're going to say, sure, create the product and I'll see, and if I like it, I'll put it out there. This has to be, bar none, utilizing this framework the easiest way possible that you can make money. I guarantee you could find a customer problem and an expert who already has that audience and put this together and have a product selling by next week. Guarantee it, and it would cover everything. Product, audience, conversion, all of it. Profit. This is the process. Niche, problem, solution, system, action. Find somewhere you can immediately make a splash, where you can identify problems with minimum effort and time, and you could create solutions that have immediate improvements in these customers' life, and you put it into the system utilizing this framework that I just shared with you. Now it's action time. It's all fine and dandy to intellectually and theoretically understand this, but this is what separates the hobbyists from those who are serious about their financial future. I have a very pointed question for you today. What are you going to do now that you have received these insights that I've given you? How are you going to invest your time on this webinar with me here today so you can reap the benefits of this forever moving forward? What are you going to do? How are you going to make this time that we've experienced here together today different from all the other times in the past when you heard about a good idea, or you came across a potentially good opportunity and did not take advantage of it, or did not utilize it and get benefit from it? How are you going to make this time different? What's going to be needed differently this time to make it work for you? What will it take for you to once and for all change your financial situation so you can become wealthy, helping many other people solve their problems easily and effortlessly? These are the three big questions. And along with these questions come my own personal concern. Because when I look at you, I see someone who can electrify thousands upon thousands of individuals in niche after niche after niche, and market after market after market. When I look at you, I can look right into your soul and I see you potential greatness. And I spend as much of my life as possible around people who look to better themselves, creating information products. That's who I serve. I serve the people that serve all these markets, and I see you every day. And when I see you, I see potential greatness. But you know what else I see day in and day out? I see potential greatness wasted. Potential wasted. And it cuts deep into the core of my being to see potential wasted. It breaks my heart. You lose out on that wealth that you so desperately desire. You lose out on the contribution to make that difference in somebody else's life. Your audience loses out on the relief to that problem. Your audience loses out on resolution. Here's my dilemma. I have a great responsibility because I know with the right combination of words and actions that I can get you to invest in yourself, to better yourself, so you can become a better self. However, I also know with this responsibility that if I falter, or if I say the wrong things, or I quiver, or I waver ever so slightly, I might miss you. So what do I need to do to get you to go in once and for all and do this for yourself and for all those that you can help and empower you? What can I do to empower you towards inevitable success? Because that's my favorite phrase in the English language, inevitable success. Because the only failure here is doing nothing. What do you suppose is needed for you to believe in you like I believe in you? Because that's my greatest challenge. I know you can do it, but maybe you don't know you can do it. So what's it going to take? Perhaps, maybe, just maybe, you need the most detailed, specific, refined, and optimized step-by-step training and instruction on how to create the most valuable types of information products that exist out there. I think I have that for you. I've devoted my whole life to searching for that answer. Perhaps you need assets you can leverage to generate immediate income with minimum effort so you can easily justify your investment and your time. I think I've set up such a situation where you can use some of my most prized assets exclusively. Perhaps you need something backing you. So as long as you make even the faintest of sincere efforts to work the system, that you can be guaranteed actual money in your pocket no matter what. I'm pretty sure I figured that out as well. And perhaps you need not just information, not just the system, not just the approach, not just the software, not just the assets, not just the advantages, and not just the money I will put in your pocket and your effort. Perhaps you also need something set up to compel you into action. So that way, even if you barely do it right, it will work right away, and then it just gets better every single time. Does that sound good to you? Because I know I've got that. It is with great pleasure that I introduce to you product E-Class Ultima, the crowning achievement of my entirety of my experience on this earth. JVZoo.com is the largest marketplace for people that sell and promote internet marketing-based products. The co-founder of JVZoo, Chad Castleman, was an original Product E-Class member. And this is what Chad said. Product E-Class was a very influential class in my career. I still have the slides which I refer to and borrow heavily from for the university course I teach on internet marketing. It is one of the best resources known to man, probably the best course I have ever bought and taken. So this is a guy who has a whole marketplace where people sell millions of dollars of products every single day. And this is his endorsement of Product E-Class. David says this, I have to say that Product E-Class is one of the best online classes I've ever been a part of, and I've been involved in plenty of classes. And then he goes on to share his profits and his successes. Paul says this, after Product E-Class, I immediately set up about putting what I learned into action. And by 2013, we've been doing this for a while, I cleared over $150K in profits. Then he goes and says 2015 was my best year yet, and from my projections, 2016 is on course to see yet another increase. I attribute these successes to being a member of Product E-Class. Dr. Mandy says Product E-Class was my catalyst to financial independence. I've done Product E-Classes since 2010. This is the latest, the greatest, the best, the most powerful opportunity yet, the brand new Product E-Class Ultima. We're talking 200 plus step-by-step videos breaking down product creation secrets that have helped me generate 8 figures a year and have helped my customers sell over 9 figures a year of information products online. This is my life's work distilled down to you in the most meaningful and powerful way possible. Let me warn you, this type of investment is not cheap for the same reason a year at Harvard is not cheap and goes for over $60,000 to go to 1 year at Harvard. And there will be simply people that won't invest because they know the price of everything and the value of nothing. And it will be sad to see them go. But if they wither away at the easiest challenge, which is the tuition, then so be it. Now, if you're still with me at this point, right here, right now, what you want to know is this. You say, Jason, how are you going to make it so that whatever I invest, I will easily and quickly get that many times back? Because that's the right question to ask. It's not what you need to invest, it's how much can it make you? And that's a fair question. Because here's what Product E-Class Ultima is worth. It's worth over $1 million. Because I've seen many people take these trainings of mine in Product E-Class and make over $1 million. So that's what it was worth to them. The highest ticket product I ever sell is $25,000, and we're sold out. We have a waiting list for that. We have people come to masterminds for $12,900, and I've sold several thousand units of products that were at $4,997. So I know the value of things. Product E-Class Ultima to the general public at $1999.95 is an amazing deal, and it's worth every penny. It will be something you'll be able to use for the rest of your financial endeavors, and it will open doors to riches that are beyond your wildest dreams. And it will awaken in you an ability to leave this world better than it was before you entered in. At $1999.95, it's not how much, it's more of how soon before you start making much more than that investment. And since you've already invested with me here today by being here and putting yourself and your time and your energy into this training, I'm going to hook you up with a special time-limited discount. If you act fast enough, when you go to sign up on the URL that you see on your screen, you can get started with us for one installment of $999.95, or you could spread it over 4 installments of $279.95. Yes, for this little of a commitment on your part, this little of an investment, you can get started with Product E-Class Ultima. And when you do go to this URL on your screen and sign up, here's everything that you're going to get today. First, the inevitable success module. It's what's between your ears that matters. So I'm going to put you in the right state of mind, sometimes have to trick you to immediately get you to where you can start producing value day one. We're going to set your expectations. I'm going to show you how to predict down to the decimal exactly how much your first information product is going to create, and we're going to cover any baseline tech that you may have struggled with in the past. So if you don't know how to set up a product, if you don't know how to take payment to a product, if you don't know how to create a website, all of that is in the Inevitable Success module, immediately available to you when you sign up on that URL you see on your screen right now. Module 1, this is also immediately available to you. We call this the 1-1-1 formula, the one problem, one solution, one sitting formula. It has been perfected to be current and the right here, right now. This is the easiest way to immediately make Product E-Class profitable within the first module. One of the things I teach and I show you is how to make the first time somebody interacts with your product immediately valuable to them. And I practice what I preach. My goal here is to, if you did nothing else other than look at Module 1, you will make many times your money back as long as you implement for Product E-Class Ultima. And then the rest is just bonuses. So Module 1 does that. Discover how to get a product that automatically has traffic and conversion built into it, and uncover the magic product formula you'll use in every product you create from here on out. Costas says this. I asked him, so you immediately hit it right after session 1, right? And Costas says, yeah, I had 2 product ideas. The one I created, which I know exactly why it was shaky and why it didn't work, and then another one that I wrote down that was something that I aligned with more but I had put off. It was the second product that just totally blew everything out of the water. Just the sales compounded over the course of a week. I remember I was traveling at the time. I just launched my product. I was trying to get Wi-Fi as often as I could so I could refresh my emails and see these little PayPal things. I had made $4,000 that first 24 hours without even being around to do anything. So that was absolutely awesome to me. That was like hitting a grand slam right out of the gate. So Costas took what he discovered in Module 1. Didn't work perfectly the first time, but the second time it did. And from that, he built a multi-million-dollar business. That's Module 1. Module 2, the expert knowledge of others. This is where I show you step by step. This is the easiest way I know to man to immediately make $10,000 or more, because you leverage other people's knowledge and their audience to make your money. Your newfound knowledge of how to structure information products, you can now take that and put that in other people's information and make a fortune. If there was an ever easier way to an immediate 5 figures, I have not found it. When you combine this with the foundation that you'll discover in Module 1, you will be an unstoppable profit force like Karen. Karen says, with the last $340 of credit on my credit card, I invested with Jason to ask him for a plan to help me generate $2,000 in 30 days. 5 weeks later, I launched my very first information product and generated $2,400. Within 3 months, this product generated me a total of $12,000. And Karen went on to sell over $3 million of products with techniques that he first learned from Module 2 in Product E-Class. Module 3, the publishing model. This has the double benefit for you. First, you can either take someone's existing content and republish it in a way that they'll love you for it, and that you'll be very well compensated for. And in addition to that, if you're starting out and you're the person who has unique and powerful knowledge that can be used under the right circumstances that people would love to pay for, now you can tap into businesses that already have customers you'd like to reach, and you can simply just share the profit. So you either publish or you be published. But either way, you make a lot of money, and I break this down for you step by step. So when Neil took this module 3 here, and he says, if you recall, one email sent during the program made me 5,000 euros. I think that's a euro, right? And a licensing deal for 2,000 more euros each year for no more work, simply because of what was revealed to him in the publishing module. Module 4, product pitching secrets. For the first 3 modules, you don't even need to know how to sell your products, and they will sell. But if you want to kick it up to the next level, it doesn't hurt. And I will show you exactly what you can do step by step to increase the conversions and the profitability of any product you've created this far, as well as new products that you will create in the future. These are the exact secrets, all of them laid bare, for how I was able to generate $15.8 million in 2015. Module 5, unlimited traffic to your information products. Up until now, the first 4 modules focused on one traffic mechanism each, already built into it. So if you do the product creation, the traffic comes along with it. If you want to go even further, then I give you additional traffic options. The easiest way, by the way, to get traffic is to have information products, and I show you exactly how to do that in Module 5. Module 6, flagship products. Here's how you discover how to build the products that sell for $4.99, $9.99, $19.99, or even more. And there's slight adjustments that you just need to make from the previous modules to make this work for you. By now, you'll be ready to do something like this, so you can become the go-to person for any topic based on what you learned in Module 6. Module 7, affiliate product creation. We hold the record for the biggest affiliate promotion of all time online. And not only do I break that down for you step by step, but I'll also show you how to create information products that will make you the greatest affiliate alive. That's I mean, in your market, it won't even be fair because you're creating information products to tap in and connect with already existing launches going on in those niches. If you understand this, you'll discover that over half the time that you're going to create information products, you'll be doing so through affiliate promotions. Module 8, now it's time for continuity. Low touch, no touch continuity. I've ran over 12 successful continuity programs in my life, and I know the ins and outs. And I'm going to show you exactly when the right time is and how you can produce continuity income. Everything is covered. The whole purpose of product E-Class Ultima was to give you my whole experience of every secret that I have. There is no upsells here. There's no additional, hey, go one step further, one step further. It is all available to you for a criminally low investment of less than $19.99.95 as long as you sign up before the page expires with the URL you see on your screen. When you go to that URL you see on your screen, there's a big old countdown timer. When that hits 0, this offer is gone because it's too valuable to be discounted for more than just a short time. One installment of $999.95 or 4 installments of $279.95 gets you started ASAP right now. And when you sign up by going to the URL on your screen, you're also going to get these incredible bonuses. You ready? Bonus number 1. I'm going to break down to you in depth exactly how we laid out, created, launched, and profited from multiple products. There's no theory here. Everything I teach, I can point to an example of how we use that you can see in the real world. Bonus number 2. MemberPod. This is a piece of software. It's a WordPress theme where every product that you sell, by the way, how are you going to deliver that product? Well, I got you covered. I got a WordPress theme that specifically will do this for you in a way that will help augment your information product and make your customers love you and cut down on all your personal time having to deal with any of this stuff. So this is all fully customizable. This is what it looks like. You can set up lessons. You can set up modules. You can even decide what they see at the homepage and when each module is released for them. You can set release dates. You can customize the header, the footer, the menus, the color schemes, the widget areas, and on and on and on. That is bonus number 2. Bonus number 3, a training course called The Keys to the Traffic Kingdom. I don't know if you know this, but Instagram is the hottest, easiest way right now to get free traffic, or almost free traffic, depends on which method you want to use. But the traffic you can get from Instagram right now, it's not even fair how easy it is. Now, I am not an expert on Instagram traffic, but I know somebody who is, and I bought his course for you. So I have exclusive distribution rights only to Product E-Class Ultima members. Product E-Class Ultima members get this course for free. Other people have and will continue to pay for it, but I bought the rights for you exclusively on how you can tap into and use Instagram to get results like this, or probably even better. Bonus number 4, product launch theme. Need squeeze pages, need sales pages, need social integration, need the ability to schedule and release your sales content or your product content over time. There you go. We have taken the systematic formula of product launching and turned it into a WordPress theme called Launch Flex. So you can have your squeeze page built in. You can have your sales videos and pre-sales videos here. You can say what's and where and when the promotion starts, when it ends, if it ends at all. And again, just like MemberPod, you can completely customize this. Bonus number 5, the mystery software. There is one single element you could add to any product that you create and promote that will produce a greater profit than anything else you could ever do. Now, to do this on your own is very hard and it's kind of challenging and technical. Or you can use this software, which will, in seconds, allow you to reap the biggest conversion secret you could ever hope and dream of. To get distribution rights to this exclusive software, just for product E-Class Ultima members, this cost us 5 figures to negotiate this deal to give you this software. But I felt it was that important to get this software in your hands because I'm investing in you just like I'm asking you to invest in you. If you were to buy this software, retail price is $249.95 per year. It's yours for free, for life. When you go to that URL on your screen, that's bonus number 5. Instead of the normal $1999.95, which is an incredibly good deal, I might add, for a limited time, because you're lucky enough to have heard about this training here today and attended it, you can get in for 1 installment of $999.95 or 4 installments of $279.95. Plus, I can guarantee you'll have at least 3 products by the start of the 8th module because I've saved the best for last. I'm going to give you reseller rights to 3 exclusive products that I have personally created myself from scratch. The only people who can sell these products are product E-Class Ultima members. You get these products. They're very good products. You can just use them for personal use and you will benefit from them tremendously. If you wish to, you can sell them and keep 100% of the profits. Not only do you get the products, you also get sales letters that we've written to go along with them. And again, you can use them, sell them, keep 100% of the profits that they generate from them. The first product that you'll get complete resale rights to is called Slide Envy. And if you wondered how I put together this slideshow presentation today or how you can create nice PowerPoint and keynote presentations for your information products, if you want to go down that route, this product will do that. Not only do you get the education portion of this product so you can learn how to do this for yourself, you can sell this product and keep 100% of the profit. This is just a taste of the videos that are available in this product. The second product that you get resale rights to, along with a sales letter, is called Thought Voodoo. This shares every sneaky little persuasion and conversion technique that I know of that I've utilized to great effect, where I break things down at a deeper step-by-step level than I've ever done before. You can just go through this yourself and benefit from it. You can also sell this and keep 100% of the profits. The third product that you'll get complete resale rights to, along with the sales letter, is called the webinar funnel. So this is where I break down what I consider the best and perfect webinar funnel that you should be using if you're doing webinars. I show you how to use it. So if you just want to know that, that's great. If you want to resell this product and keep 100% of the profits, you will have the ability to do that as well. When you get what and how it's released is available to you in full details when you go to the URL on your screen. And if you act fast enough, instead of the normal $1999.95, you can get in for 1 installment of $999.95 or 4 installments of $279.95. And when you do get in, your success is guaranteed. No, I didn't just misspeak there. Your success is certain, and here is how. If product E-Class Ultima doesn't make you more than $2,000, I will put that much in your pocket. So yes, if you invested $999.95 and don't make $2,000, I will give you $2,000. Double your money back at the very least, as long as you put forth just the slightest effort to implement what we teach in the product E-Class Ultima. The full details of this guarantee, because there are qualifications here. You got to put forth some effort, but here's how I feel about this. You take 1 step, I'll take 10 steps. You take 2 steps, I'll take 20 steps on your behalf. I ask you to invest, I invest in you, all right? So as long as you put forth the effort, your profit is guaranteed legally. Now, even if you do nothing, I will give you your money back. My guarantee policy is, a lot of people call it dumb, because you just say, I want my money back, and you get it within 30 days or less of your investment here today. Yes, you could take advantage of me if you wanted to. So the first guarantee that you have is 30 days, no questions asked. Just get inside, take a look. If you want it, keep it. If you don't want it, I'll give you your money back. It's as simple as that, because I never want to discourage somebody from trying to better themselves. So to give you the opportunity to see everything that is available to you when you sign up, That's to encourage you to invest and bet on yourself, because you're the best investment you could ever make. In this particular case, just contact our support, let them know you risk 0 time and money with this first unconditional guarantee. Even better, put the course into action. Now this requires a bit of your time, and as such I want to make sure you're compensated for it. So here is the condition. If you create 2 unique products based on 2 different modules and could honestly tell me you didn't double your investment within 90 days, then I will give you double your money back. Again, the full details on this double your money back guarantee can be found when you go to the webpage URL below on this slide here. And go and sign up right now so you can get the special time-limited discount of either just 1 installment at $999.95, or if you wish to, you could spread it over 4 installments at $279.95. It does not matter to me. Pick the one that you feel the best about. Because here's what matters to me. Getting you in so we can make that difference that you know and deserve and that you can have. Costas is this. By the time I was introduced to your course, I was already pretty jaded because I had made a bunch of investments that didn't pay off. So once I made the decision to get it, it wasn't easy. It was like a threshold that I had to make to part with the money. But once I made the decision, I was like, okay, I'm actually going to show up. I'm going to make the commitment. I'm going to do whatever Jason says. So I understand that I'm not asking you for something that's easy. I understand that I'm asking for a lot from you right here, right now. I'm understanding that this isn't going to be something that you can just say, okay, I'm in, without thinking and reflecting deeply on yourself. Now, for some of you, it immediately made sense and you signed up right away, and I congratulate you for that. But I also know some of you, you're going to have to do a little bit of soul searching, and that's what Costas had to do. And Costas turned that into multi-millions of dollars. Now, I'm concerned because some people do soul searching and they get lost as they search. Here's the facts. You want the facts? Here's the facts. Can I guarantee your success if you get into product E-Class Ultima? I can, as long as you put forth the minimum effort involved. So what have you got to risk? And I will tell you, it's not the fear of failure that holds most people back. You want to know what really holds most people back? The fear of success. The fear of success. Because what's going to happen when you make more money this year than you've ever made before? How are you going to handle that? What's going to happen when you got actual customers that you have to support and that you're obligated to help? How are you going to handle that, right? Are you going to wither and die, or are you going to rise to the occasion? Now, because I have seen the transformation in thousands and thousands of individuals who went through Product E-Class and have become successful, I will tell you this. It's better, it's easier, it's more wonderful, it's more enjoyable, it's more incredible than you can ever imagine it. It is beyond your wildest imagination how incredible this is for you to go through the effort, to learn what needs to be learned, to do what needs to be done, to get what needs to be got for you to be successful financially and personally, right? I have seen the experiences. So what you perceive are challenges, you are over-exaggerating and over-representing those in your mind because they're not boogeymen in the closet. And will there be bumps along the way? Hell yes, there'll be bumps along the way. The road to success is paved with bumps along the way. But is it worth it? Hell yes, it's worth it. Because if you don't, somebody else will. And I don't know how they'll do it. I don't know how they'll help your customers. Only you know how you'll help them. So do you want to leave that up to chance? Or do you want to actually actively make a difference in somebody? Because at the end of the day, there's the wealth in terms of money, but there's also the wealth in terms of contribution and fulfillment. And I want to give you all of those things. But the only way I'm going to be able to do this is by getting some commitment on your part. I have laid forward, bared my soul to you today. The genesis of my life's work, available to you at a simple URL that you can go to that's on your screen right now. And I'm asking for you something in return. And I'm asking for a little bit of capital to get started with, to show me that you're serious and that it's worth it for you to put the time, the focus, the resources, and the energy in. But more importantly, I'm asking for some of your time so we can make that transformation together. So we can do this with each other to help you help others. Help me, help you, help others. And here's the beautiful thing. You will be rewarded, tremendously rewarded for this endeavor. Now, here's the other beautiful thing. We're not burning the bridge here. We're not saying no plan B. We're not jumping out of the airplane without a backup parachute. Life is incredible because there are things that are outside of my control and outside of your control. So there's the external stuff that we can't do much about. The internal stuff, of course, we can influence, and that's your personal responsibility and obligation. But the external stuff, listen, 15 days from now, life might intervene or interrupt, and you might have to put this on pause. Are you hosed? No. I will give you your money back. If you put time, I will compensate you for that time as long as that time is focused in the way that I showed you throughout these modules, right? So I'm not naive enough to think that everything is going to go perfectly wonderful for every individual that comes into Product E-Class Ultima. However, I am pragmatic enough to handle plan B, C, D, E, F, and G. So no matter what happens, you will only come out better as a result of investing in Product E-Class Ultima. And I personify and I live that, and I teach you how to do the same for your customers, to set up situations where there's only benefit and gain, and there's never any risk or fallback. The hardest thing you will have to do is the hardest thing I'm doing right here, right now, convincing you to invest in yourself, to better yourself. Because the actual process is easy, but the potential, the perception, whatever boogeyman you have in your head that may be holding you back right now, what do I got to do to get through to that? And I'll hear the same questions, and I'm seeing them right now. And they're the same questions. I've heard them 1,000 times, and I'll hear them 1,000 more times before I'm done. And the questions go along the ways. Hey, Jason, first of all, what do I need to invest beyond my investment in Product E-Class Ultima here today? And the answer is you could get started beyond your investment today with $0 additional dollars of investing, because you go straight through Module 2 once you understand the framework of Module 1, and you could take other people's resources. So they already have the website, they already have the list, they already have the customers, they already have the expertise. And you just have to put some time into forming that in a cohesive, powerful information product where you take some of the profit for your services for that person. And there are millions of such opportunities that are existing right now, freely available. And next year, there'll be millions more opportunities. And the only thing that separates you from them right now is just a little bit of know-how. And that's all found at Product E-Class Ultima. So you can get started with $0 of additional investment beyond just the tuition. And that's the most important thing. What you're buying here today is the trade secrets. It's the perfection of a singular focused madman. His name is Jason Fladlin, who spent most of his adult life solving the problem of how do we create information products that have impact, that resonate deeply with customers, that get them excited and eager to purchase money. And I'm giving you the lifetime of my work right here, right now, Product E-Class Ultima. You say, here's a question I hear a million times over and over again, and I'm seeing it right now. You say, Jason, I don't have any previous experience with this. I'm a beginner. I'm just starting out. Is this for me? Yes. Consider yourself lucky, because most of us go many years of struggling and pinballing to and from opportunity, 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 and opportunity before we finally find the thing that's legit and real and powerful. And congratulations, you found that right away, early in your career here. So this is created, remember the stranger test? This is created so we can pull anybody off the street at random. As long as they're desirous of creating financial independence, this can be the thing that does that for them. So perfect for you. Now on the flip side, I also see other people say, Jason, I've been doing this for a while. Is there anything in here for me? I'm a little bit more advanced. Yes, absolutely. Because I could take a beginner and graduate them to black belt just like that. So at the end of the day, is if somebody spent most of their adult life and has generated and sold over $100 million worth of information product and has demonstrated that not only can they do it, but many others can do it, is it worth you investing your time and your focus to learn every secret that that person has? If it is, Product E-Class Ultima, you should have already been signed up by now. The other question I'm seeing here, and I'm getting it all the time, is how quickly can I get a return on my investment? I don't think that's the right question to ask, but it is an interesting question, so I'll answer it anyway. It's not so much how can I get a return on my investment, it's the real question is how am I going to help people in such a way that it's so easy for them and obvious for them to pay me money and be eager and willing and able to do that. If you ask that question, time becomes very quick and when you can get a return on your investment. But here's the more direct answer to that question. If it's important for you to make money ASAP, then you're going to go through Product E-Class Ultima with that state of mind. And that's great, because then you are going to seek out and focus directly, immediately on those things that you can do to return that for you. And if that's your approach, I have built it so you can get your money out of this thing in terms of what you invested here today as fast as humanly possible. So that way you can do it and achieve quick results and still do it right. Because usually if you're trying to do things ASAP, lickety-split to try to get an ROI ASAP, you usually cut corners. Or you focus on the short term and expense the long term. Now I will never teach that. You don't do it unless you can do it right. So my focus is how can I create Product E-Class Ultima in such a way that you can do it right in as little as time as humanly possible. And I've done that, and I've layered that into the training. So if that's a primary concern for you, congratulations. That is one of the objectives that I set out to achieve with Product E-Class Ultima, because if you think you're impatient when it comes to money, you and I haven't hung around enough with each other, because I'm probably the most impatient guy on the planet. Here's the first few products I created. How to write an article in 7 minutes. How to create an information product in 48 hours or less. How to write near world-class sales letters in 3 hours or less. How to create a membership site in 6 minutes or less. Do you notice a pattern? I am the most impatient man in the world when it comes to getting a result. And I have discovered secrets if you're that type of person as well. One of the easiest ways to make money online is to simply find stuff that people are already doing and figure out a way for them to do it faster. And that's a gigantic thing of what we teach in Product E-Class Ultima. Because if you do that, they will immediately pay you money if you just save them minutes every time they do a certain task. Easy. That's one of the hacks for the quick term profit without sacrificing the long term or without cutting corners or shortcutting it, right? But more important to me is not how quickly you make your money back, because I got you covered there. That's not going to be an issue. What's more important to me is how much money you can make and in what time period. And that answer is different for everybody. So one of the first things that you get access to when you sign up for Product E-Class Ultima is I give you our forecasting file, which will help you forecast out the potential profit of any information product that you're considered creating. And that will give you straight up what you need to do to get that done and how you need to put that out there and who you need to put that in front of. And so whether your goal is to make an extra $5,000 a month completely on autopilot, which by the way is pretty damn good if you ask me. That's several vacations a year for free you've now just paid for. That's the car and the mortgage just paid for on its own. For most people, that extra little income, month in and month out, is the difference between teetering on the edge of uncertainty and being 100% stable financially. And if that's a goal of yours, awesome. Product E-Class Ultima can achieve that, and I'll show you how to forecast it to achieve that. If your goal is a little bit higher and you want to make millions of dollars a year, sure, that's possible as well. The forecasting file will help you determine personally what your objective is. By the way, do you know your objective? Most people don't. Most people have never sat down and defined exactly what it looks like for them to succeed in this information product business. And that's one of the first things that we do in Product E-Class Ultima, because I'll tell you this, it's hard to hit a bullseye if you're blindfolded. So let's take that blindfold off, let's fix a target to it, and now you're able to go through each and every module specifically knowing exactly what you need to get out of it to move forward with it. URL on your screen, sign up right now. Big countdown timer there. Because one of the things I have to do is compel you to act on something that's in your best interest. And the easiest way I can compel you to do that is to make sure you understand that the opportunity is fleeting and there's a narrow window which you can act upon this opportunity or let it pass you by. And I'm telling you, with zero risk and all reward here, it's time for you to sign up once and for all, to go there, to get the resources you need to do. Because if I'm guessing that you're like most people in the fact that you try to get by with as little resources as possible to achieve your outcome. And I always say, how's that working out for you? Because for most people, if they try to get by the skin of their teeth, guess what you get? You don't get much, right? You got to invest time and energy and focus into the most worthwhile resources available to do the job right. And that's what Product E-Class Ultima is. And by no stretch of the imagination is it cheap. I don't sneeze at a $999.95 investment or 4 installments at $279.95. I know that's some serious money we're playing with here. And that's not a joke to me. I take that very serious, that this is a significant investment on your part. But you know what else is a significant investment? All the hundreds of videos that I sat down and laboriously put together for your benefit. All the countless thousands of hours I turned in my mind. What needs to be said to understand the lessons of the most powerful product creation secrets of all time, and how to get those products out there in the hands of your customers that you need to serve, that will make you rich, that will finance your independence and your wealth. That's no joke either, right? I'm just asking for an exchange here of where you can give me a little bit of investment, so that way I'm incentivized to continue my pursuit to provide to you these amazing resources which are available to you in Product E-Class Ultima. And that investment also tells me you're serious, because life is too precious for us to just mess around and be halfway in. We got to be all the way in. And I want to deal with people who are all the way in. If my focus in this world of making a difference is working with people who are serious and committed, part of this litmus test is how serious are you? Are you serious enough to put in a little bit of skin into the game to get access to what we've created from a lifetime of my effort to help you help others? Product E-Class Ultima, it's available to you right now. Listen, we can go back and forth all day. You can say, Jason, well, what about this? Well, what about that? What about this? What about that? There's some point in time where you just got to realize, am I asking the small questions here, or am I asking the big questions? Because there's a million reasons why you can say no to anything. And I guarantee you there has been times in your life, tell me if this is not true. There have been times in your life when you wanted to say no to something, but in the end you say yes. And looking back, you were glad that you did say yes. I guarantee you every single one of you have had that experience where you were uncertain about something going in that turned out to be one of the best things in your life. You were unsure about it. I was unsure if I should have kids or not, right? I was uncertain about it. One of the best decisions I ever made in my life. 3 beautiful children, right? I was unsure of whether I should go out there and start my own business or continue to paint houses for the rest of my life. I was scared. I was nervous. I had a million reasons not to. One of the best decisions in my life was to say yes, even though I was a little uncertain and a little scared, and it required some effort and some focus and some resources on my part. So I'm not saying that you're not going to have your doubts, and I'm not saying that you might not be a little nervous, and I'm not saying that you might not have to dig down a little bit to figure this out before going forward with it. I'm just saying, just like those opportunities in the past where you are unsure, but yet you said yes anyway because you knew in your heart of hearts that it was the right move to make. That's what I'm asking you to do here today. And like I told you earlier, there's no upsells. There's no additional product E-Class secrets that I'm holding back from you to get you in the door and then sell you more of it. Everything I have available on how to create products is in this one training program right here at Product E-Class Ultima. And I'm asking you to believe in yourself like I believe in you, and to go right now to that URL you see on your screen to sign up to get started. As soon as you sign up, you're going to get the first 2 modules. Well, the Inevitable Success Introduction module, as well as Module 1 immediately available to you. And then each week, spaced a week apart, each additional module will be released to you. Bonuses are released as they make sense for you as well, and that information is available on that page. So that way you can get the right information at the right time. And you have access to 3 reseller products. Why do I do that, by the way? Why do you suppose that I give you the ability to resell 3 of my products that I don't give anybody anywhere else other than Product E-Class Ultima customers the opportunity to do that? Why do you suppose I do that? Because I am stacking the deck in your favor. My goal is I want to empower you with everything you need to stack the deck in your favor so success is inevitable. And so that's why I give you 3 products. 3 products to sell. You sell a couple of those products, everything else is paid for in Product E-Class. Beyond that, there are certain things I don't know that I go out there and pay money for to acquire the rights to give just to Product E-Class Ultima customers. There's a whole traffic strategy in there that I think is one of the most cleverest traffic strategies that's working right here, right now with Instagram, and that's yours. And other people buy that, and you get that for free. And the software to really, really stack the deck in your favor to make it easy as possible for your product to sell. Usually $250 a year. That's yours free. I paid 5 figures to have the rights. Year in and year out now I have to pay. That's my contract. Each year I have to renew at 5 figures a year to give you the rights to use that without having to pay for it because I pay for it on your behalf. So I'm asking you to invest just like I've invested. I'm asking you to believe just like I believe. I'm asking you to do your part in this so we can grow and succeed together, so we can contribute together, so we can make the world better together. And so that way you can finally take life back to your terms. Because one of the greatest travesties in this life is that most people are working for somebody else's agenda. They have somebody else who they have to report to, whose goals they have to follow. And hey, for a lot of those people, that's fine, and that's all that they should ever aspire to, because there's more to life than just contribution and helping others. But those people aren't on these webinars because those people don't have that innate desire that's probably installed in you at birth, which is where you said, I want to control, I want to create, I want to live life exactly on my terms. I want to show up here, and I want to do this there, right? And by the way, if you're in an organization already that does that, awesome. There are jobs out there, lots of them, that allow you to live life exactly on your terms. But if you're not in one of those situations now, you might have to figure out a way to get it to where you are in that situation. And I will tell you, for every flash in the pan, every trick, every little exploit that happens on the internet, most of them are here and gone. They might work for a little bit, but they're not something you can build your life around. But you know what has lasted forever? The whole totality of the internet so far, and probably going forward, information products. It might not be the sexiest, coolest thing, but I'll tell you, it lasts forever. The value of an information product business and knowing how to create and sell information products online, that is something that will always be available. That is a skill that will continue to be valuable for you. It's something you can learn once, and it will be valuable for you for the rest of your life. So while other people chase loopholes, you don't. Now when loopholes present themselves, you can take advantage of them from a superior position, having been fully seated in products creation. But when those times exist where there are no loopholes, you can still produce. The trick isn't to make money when everybody else is making money. That's easy. Anybody can do that. The trick is making money when almost nobody else is making money. And you know how you do that? You have information products where you can completely control and help people succeed by solving their problems that they're more than happy to pay you for. And how do you do that? Every single thing is laid bare to you once and for all at the URL you see in your screen. 100% guaranteed. No risk. Want your money back? Got your money back. Do a little bit of work, I'll give you double your money back. Go to the URL, sign up while you have the opportunity to. And while it's available, let's do this now. Because only every so often, and it's very rare, do I come out with a product E-Class. In the last 6 years, we've came out with 3 of them. And this is the latest, fresh off the press, right in front of you. Product E-Class Ultima. It's available now. So not very often it's available for you to sign up. Now's the time, so let's do it. Sign up. And I look forward to helping you succeed and help others succeed with the information and the abilities you're going to discover in Product E-Class Ultima. Let's go do this together, and let's make some differences. My name is Jason Fladlin. Thank you very much, and I look forward to working with you more.